I'm here with you, and as you know, as you've come to find out, this is going to be a fun, enjoyable, interactive hour, right? So I've got a few topics that I'd like to cover on the agenda, but as always here, right? I want your participation. I want you to ask questions and to engage here. We're going to play around, especially if my connection's better tonight and your connection is. We're going to give some folks the opportunity to talk, to pitch your business or your website. Even turn on video. We'll mess around with that a little bit as well. So let's get some more folks here. The more folks that are here, the more folks can hear your story, find out about your business. And one thing we're going to be talking about or shouting about today is voice of the customer cash map. So voice of the customer cash map. I'll get into that, what that means. But we're going to be essentially talking about, as part of tonight, how you listen to your customer in such a busy world, a busy society. So Donnie, welcome. Glad to have you here, brother. M, not sure who M is, but M, thank you for being here. The voice of the customer, that's one. I also want to talk about busyness at home. I want to talk about some stuff at home that affects you and how you're able to get things done. And there's another topic as well that eludes me right now. Let me pull up my thing here and take another peek at it again. Oh, the busy boss. Yeah, the busy boss. So I think most folks here are entrepreneurs. I know a couple of you in here do still work in the corporate world, corporate environment. But if you want to share that with me, how many of you are entrepreneurs, 100% exclusive, at home, or your own office? You're not moonlighting. You're not working on the side. You're not working at night. Hey, listen. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, my story. Most of you here, I started out moonlighting on the side when I was working as an executive role in the automotive industry. So okay, good. So really, there's only about 3 folks here, about 4, who fit that role. The rest of you, then, I'm going to assume are working some job, the JOB, which is totally fine, because let's face it, at the end of the day, you got to make sure that bread's on the table, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with doing the entrepreneurship thing on the side or at night. So awesome, Corbin. Yep. That's right. Lots of money there. Something to be said, right, about that paycheck coming in every week or every 2 weeks or every month, and benefits. I'll tell you a little story about me real quick here. Our move from Michigan down to Florida. I just got a letter in the mail 2 weeks ago, and we have 5 young children ranging from 4 months to 9 years of age, and our insurance went up 110%. 110%. Our health insurance went up. Basically all due to moving to Florida. Of course, we added the 5th child there, but so hey, for those of you that are working full time, trust me, enjoy those health benefits if you got them, because they're that's something that's very, 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 very nice. So, anyways, all right, now let's go over the room here real quick. You already know where the little hand dude or dudette is, right? So use that. As you know, I tend to talk fast at times, so if you need me to slow down, go ahead and shout. If you need, to pop in with a question or something, go ahead and type it into the chat there. So you can definitely go ahead and type a question right into the chat. We'll pick it up, and later on, after we go through some stuff here, I'm definitely going to open it up for Q&A, and I'll open up a little window that you'll be able to type into for your questions and answers. So if you have questions about your business, right, the Q&A portion here, I want your participation. Write down those questions, jot them down on a piece of paper next to you or something, hold them, or go ahead and type them in, and we'll get to them later. But anything that you have about entrepreneurship, business building, getting out of busyness, productivity, whatever that is, write those suckers down. So finally, as we really kick off things here, you don't have to have this, but make sure that you download your free copy of the Voice of the Customer Strategy Cash Map. Remember, when you create your free account over at cashmap.com, you get access immediately to 2 full packages that include the high-level strategy cash map and all the action cash maps. Then you also receive all 59 or 60, whatever the number is. I'll call it 59. 59 strategy cash maps. You get all those for free. So make sure that you go do that. Hey, it looks like the coloring on my camera changed. That's awesome. It doesn't make me look red anymore. So with that, all right, let's open up a poll here. I want to jump into something here, and specifically, what I want to talk about is stuff at home, right? So there's 5 areas that cause busyness, right? And I covered these last week: people, mindset, technology, action, and stuff, right? And by the definition of busyness, right, is engaging in meaningless action. So by definition, the actions that you take will position you in or out of what I call busyness, taking meaningless action, right? But one of those things is stuff. And I always get the questions, and people say, what is stuff? Well, if you think about it, technology causes busyness, your mindset, and how you're getting your mind, making sure your mind's right to stay out of business. The people around you, right? Those annoying people. Maybe it's at work, at the water cooler talk, or the people that keep coming up to your cubicle or knocking on your office door and just won't leave you the heck alone, right? But stuff is something that people always say. All right, always ask me, what is that, right? And if you think about it from a home perspective, right, and there's stuff all over that causes busyness. But I threw out some examples in the email today. Maybe laundry at home. I know, speaking for my wife's perspective, who, God love her, because I would not be able to do what I do today if it wasn't for her. I owe everything that I do to my beautiful bride, Lee. But from a laundry perspective, honestly, anymore, I really don't do much laundry. She handles all of that, and I know with 5 children and actually 6 children because of myself, that's a tough chore, right? Same thing with mail coming in the house. Same thing with budgeting. Doing financial type managing your finances. All of that stuff takes time, and just absolutely sucks you in to a state of busyness. So I just got a little thing. Now, this should allow you to select multiple things here, but just try to select maybe your top 3 here. Let's take a look at what happens. You should see this. You should see this here. Laundry, kids' homework, sorting, filing mail, cleaning the house, running kids around if you have children at home, children's sports activities, budgeting, the financial stuff I talked about, the other, so if it's other, I really want to know what other is. I'm going to ask you that here in a minute, but so I'll give you just another second here. Okay, so this is interesting. So let me go ahead and sorry, let me go back and open that back up again. Ah, shoot. Hey, vote again for me if you would there. Sorry, I totally messed. I haven't used this. I haven't used this multiple choice thing or multiple answer, and I totally just deleted all the answers instead of showing it to you. So sorry about that. Oops. Oh, come on now. Some of you aren't voting or something, or you changed your mind because now there's different. Now the results look different than what they looked before. Somebody said laundry the first time, and now nobody said laundry. There we go. All right. Thanks, whoever that was, just put that on there to appease me. All right, let me see if I can show those there. All right, yeah, thanks, Simon. All right, so turkey. Maybe I can't actually show this sucker. Let me tell you what is going on here. Oh, there we go. I'm a novice. I'm a rookie. Should be able to see those now, right? So 25% of the folks here said laundry. All right, 25% said sorting and filing mail. 50% said cleaning the house. Children's sports activities, 25%. Budgeting, 50%. And other, 50%. Yeah, so 50% of you said other. So whoever said other, right? Whoever said other, yeah, great, Corbin. What other things? Drop those in there for me. I'd love to hear some of the other things that are causing you busyness at home, the stuff at home that causes you busyness. Type some stuff in there. Come on. Don't be shy. Don't be shy. Let's see what's okay, Corbin, great. Thanks for being honest, brother. That's yeah, that's great. Kid stuff. Yeah, absolutely. If you have any kids, that is absolutely yeah, worrying about the your job and how whether that's staying. Okay, so mindset type things. Global deforestation. Good. Good. How much time, Corbin, do you spend on worrying about the global deforestation? Is that kind of a hot button for you? 5%. All right. Yeah. So that's great. Worrying about your job, from a mindset. Kids. Oh, absolutely. Your kids just it has to be done, and you love those little rascals to death. But man, it just sucks your time and stuff. Right out of there. All right. So I just wanted to kind of pick that up and throw that out there for just to see what other people are dealing with and messing with. Is there anybody who feels they have this stuff mastered, or any one of these areas mastered? Maybe you didn't pick sorting or filing the mail because you have you've developed a process that allows you to not let mail, that stuff, pile up. Or maybe cleaning the house. Hey, clean the house, Corbin. You said I think you said what did you say there? Something your housekeeper would not do the laundry. Okay, yeah. So I mean, outsourcing. Having a house cleaner come in, housekeeper. Awesome stuff. That goes a long way for helping with that. So the ideal action process that I teach, right? I'm just going to type that in here. The ideal action process, we're going to get into all of this. And just I think I mentioned this last week, a sneak little, or a quick little sneak peek. You guys and gals are going to be the first people that are going to get to see my Busyness Manifesto, which is a personal invitation to join the ranks of the unbusy. And that will be out in March. So coming fast. And, the ideal action process there stands for intentions, design for action, execute your action, analyze your action, and learn. So intentions, design, execute, analyze, and learn. That's the 5-step ideal action process to get yourself out of busyness. And I can tell you, it works. It absolutely works on just all of these items here that we're talking about. So I'm just teasing you with that a little bit. I'm not going to get into that tonight, but I wanted to tease you with something that is coming. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. So, all right, anything else? As I'm going to go ahead and pull up the Voice of the Customer Strategy Cash Map. We're going to dive into that here. While I'm doing that, is there anybody here that would like to either hop on audio or hop on video and give a shout out to the folks here on the call and the thousands of folks who are going to watch the replays of this over the next, the coming months and years? Is anybody interested in, hopping on and either giving a shout out to your business and what you're about, introduce yourself, or even asking a question, at this point, while I'm switching over? Just go, if you're interested in that, go ahead and raise your hand and I'll watch for you. But if not, that's okay too. Just want to give you the opportunity to do so. So, all right. Yeah, Roger, what is that? What are you putting up there? I got to look and see what you just put up there. Speed up? Oh, man, what do you got to get to bed? I got a speed up sign from Roger. Aren't I talking fast enough? Or speed up and pulling up the documents? All right, let me pull this up here. And we're gonna pull up now the Voice of the Customer Strategy Cash Map. Actually, no. You know what? First, we're gonna pull up the overview document because I see some new faces in here, and I want to go over this very quickly. You can give me a hard time. That's what we're here for, man. Absolutely. I can take it. All right. Here's the overview document. Now remember, I don't have them all printed off tonight. This is just the strategy cash map. You know, normally how I have like, you know, all these other papers, you know, these are all the action cash maps here, right? So remember, our cash map packages consist of the strategy cash map and all the action cash maps that go along with it, okay? The strategy cash maps are free. They show you exactly what you need to do to implement a particular strategy. You know, that 30,000 foot view. I don't know why my color's so bad here. Sorry. The action cash maps are they bring it down a notch. It's more detailed. They show you exactly how to implement that strategy. So let's take a look at this particular package itself, right? So here we go. The voice of the customer strategy cash map right here, VOC strategy. See my little green arrow on there. That's what we're going to cover here and now, okay? Now look at all of the action cash maps that come with this package. You know, how to implement a voice of the customer. VOC stands for voice of the customer, okay? So VOC stands for voice of the customer. We're going to talk about that. But here's the strategy cash map. Here's all the action cash maps. Implement a VOC program strategy. Manage customer integration points. Centralize customer support operations. Execute reputation monitoring. Conduct competitive benchmarking. Conduct customer surveys. Collect and leverage testimonials. Set up a focus group. And it goes on. Let me get back here and scroll this down a little bit more. There's 3 more. Document and manage the voice of the customer. Measure and track customer satisfaction. VOC, create a VOC-driven product, do VOC-driven product development. All of those, right? So 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 action cash maps come with the package that you can purchase to show you exactly how to implement, or to have you delegate to somebody on your team, or to outsource to somebody not on your team to implement it on your behalf. So that's the beauty of the cash maps. Real quick, this right here, this little oval here, begin VOC strategy implementation. That's where we start. That's where we end. This little flow arrow here, and sorry, it doesn't really look like much of a flow arrow on there. Looks like we got a goof. I just see a little arrowhead. I don't really see an arrow, but anyways, the flow arrow is the direction that you follow, right? These black, in this case, the black cash steps or action steps are called here. These are actions that you're going to take. The diamonds up here are decision diamonds, where you have to pick one of 2 or more paths that come out. And finally, and most importantly, are these folder icons right here. You'll see them up here as well. Any of these action steps that have a folder icon indicates that there is a lower level action cash map, right? So if you see that somewhere and it says manage customer integration points, and you see the folder icon there, that means that there's an action cash map that can be had that shows you the exact details of how to manage customer integration points. If you know how to do it on your own, that's fine too. But if you want more assistance and don't want to waste the time trying to figure out on your own, that's where the action cash maps you're going to want to pick those up. Excuse me. All right. Nobody's taking me up on my offer to chat with us here tonight, or hop on video. That's okay, but that's always an open opportunity there. Simon, you want to try your mic? I'm going to go back and open up the strategy cash map now. So bear with me. And as you guys, I see some people talking. Maybe somebody wants to talk. I can keep talking one way. That's okay. That's all right. All right, Gary, that's fine. Simon, we'll try yours later. And Vans, you already got to go last week. Yeah, I know. All right, so the VOC strategy cash map should be coming up here. All right, so here's the rest of our agenda. We're going to plow through the strategy cash map. You know the drill. Then I'm going to give you a nice little incentive to pick up these action cash maps, and then we're going to hop over and do a little bit more busyness talk on another topic. And sorry, I'm fighting a cold here. we're gonna hop over and talk a little bit more business talk. Then we're gonna open up the floor for Q&A. So if you have questions, we're gonna knock those questions out. If you don't have questions, then we'll end early. I don't like to end early though, so hopefully that doesn't happen. So let's zoom in here a little bit, and just wanted to remind you. You see on this left side, right here. Let me get my little drawing tool out here, because all of you know how good of a drawer that I am. And I can't even make fun of Ron tonight. He's not even here. So because Ron's not here, let me give you a little secret here. Ron is my right hand. It looks like my left to you. It's my right hand man who I've worked with for almost 5 years now. So Ron oversees the team that turns our cash map and all of our processes that we use for our businesses, right? And we test them and streamline them, and then we actually document them and put them out there to market. He actually takes them, him and his team take them and put them into these pretty pictures. Everything here is custom designed, and that's a question that we always get. But Ron is just an awesome right-hand guy, and so I always give him a hard time about me being able to design as well as he did, even though he came through one of those programs that was like a $125,000 program. So anyways, right here I wanted to show you here real quick. You should be able to get some right here, right by that line, and I can't draw off the screen, but it says, you see where it says here, voice of the customer strategy #1. That's where you always want to look on our cash maps to tell where you're at in the hierarchy of the cash maps. If it says strategy, that's the highest one. And then you'll see here when we get into implement voice of the customer program strategy right here, this folder icon and this folder icon. If I were to open those up for you right now, on the left hand side, you would see implement VOC program strategy 1.2. So that's how you know where you're at in the hierarchy. Let me pull that back off. Is this zoomed in enough for everyone? Hopefully you can see that okay, because I don't think you can zoom on your end. If it's not, give me a shout here. But let me talk about voice of the customer here. I know for a fact that Roger Pippin, Roger's involved with the automotive industry, and so he gets this big time here, right? Because the voice of the customer means that what is the customer asking for? It's as simple as that. What is your customer asking for, by way of what they want to see in your product or service offerings? What value do you need to bring to them? Now, what's most important is very seldom do customers tell you. Very seldom do customers going to tell you, hey, I would like a seat in my car that vibrates and has a button that can shoot somebody out of the car if they're bugging the crap out of me, right? They're just not going to say that. Now that might be something that they want, right? That they want to, but so there's a difference, and that's actually called, I don't want to get too technical here, but it's called explicit and implicit. Explicit means they actually say it to you. They speak it to you. They say, hey, I want a black leather seat, and I want it to have a heater element in it, right? The implicit requirements are things that they want, but they don't say that they want. It's either that they just assume that they're going to get it, or it's something that you don't give them a forum. You don't give your customer a forum to verbalize. Now I'm going to turn this around. I know I'm talking automotive world right now. I'm going to turn this around to back to the entrepreneurial space here, so that each of you can say, okay, I get it. But let's dive into the process here. I'm sorry, one more thing. The other thing is that the voice of the customer is not only end customers, right? So it's not only the people that are buying your products and services. Let me use the automotive analogy again. In the automotive world, you're designing a car part, let's say, that's going to go on an automobile. You're not only designing for the person who's going to buy that vehicle at the end, you're also designing for, say, the original equipment manufacturer, the Ford, the GM, the Chrysler, the Honda, the Toyota, right? You're also designing for the manufacturing folks, the people who are going to manufacture that car part. You're also designing for the assemblers at the vehicle assembly plant who are going to assemble that part into the car, right? You're also designing for you know, the people who are going to dispose of your vehicle, for the people who are going to service your vehicle, you know, on and on and on. There's a whole bunch of customers, and that's one of the biggest shortfalls or points that get overlooked when talking about voice of the customer. Even as an entrepreneur, right? Think about that. Think about this, and let me give you an example. Let's say that you are writing an ebook, right? And you're going to sell this ebook. Just a real simple example. And so most of the time, the only person that you would think about, right, is the end customer who's going to buy that ebook. And so your head's all wrapped up and you're thinking about, hey, what does that customer want to hear? What do they want? What's the value that they want? What's the message that they want? You know, how do I package my message into a format that they're going to want? And so you may think about things like, well, it needs to be a certain font because people want to read it at a certain font. Oh, they want an audio version of it, so I need to create an audio. I need to read it and create an audio version of it. You know, there's lots of different things that you always think about from an end user perspective. However, what about the delivery of that ebook, right? What if you're going to deliver it through ClickBank? What if you're going to deliver it through, you know, your own website? What if you're going to deliver it through, you know, Amazon? So you're going to put it out there using a service like CreateSpace and produce it as a book and put it out there, right? What if you're going to print it at Vistaprint? And you know, all these things are just a little bit different. They all have different requirements, right? So the requirements of how you format that ebook are going to be different for CreateSpace to get it out on Amazon. Then it's different from what, say, ClickBank is going to require. You know, right? So not the best example, but just to kind of give you some idea, it's not just the end user and customer. You must think about every step of the way of the life cycle of that product, everybody who you need to touch, right? And everyone that is going to touch that product, what are the requirements for that? And that's really what we're talking about here with voice of the customer, right? Now, most people do not put in place a formal voice of the customer process either. It's more just willy-nilly, hey, you know, customer wants this, customer wants that. You know, what we're talking about here is actually documenting in a nice, simple way what your customer wants. And going back, you know, multiple weeks, 2-3 weeks ago, we talked about the need to understand your target market, right? And to build that avatar, to understand, right? So to put, you know, I need to get an avatar mask or something. So actually I can hold up in front of my face. You know, and what does your customer look like? Is he or she blue, green, yellow? You know, how old? What's their income? Where do they hang out? What magazines do they read? What websites do they go to? You know, all that type of stuff. Building the avatar from there. And hey, SCVDA, I see you've been typing for it seems like about 10 minutes now. I know you type slow with the finger pecking, but just what are you really typing that slow? Anyways, so back to this. Let's jump into this now. Hopefully that helps you from, you know, set the stage from a voice of the customer standpoint and explains you what we're talking about here. If you have questions on that, right? Absolutely, you know, jot them down or type them in, you know, down there. Becky, yeah, on the Six Sigma side, design for Six Sigma, absolutely. In the define and the design for Six Sigma, right? DMAIC, design, measure, analyze, you know, right? The DMAIC, the define phase of that, absolutely. You know, voice of the customer plays a major role in that. Let's jump. So, you know, begin your voice of customer strategy implementation here, right? And the first decision is, hey, have you already implemented your own voice of the customer program? You know, 99% of the folks that we coach and we work with have not. This isn't something that they do. And that's why this particular cash map package has been so popular. So, you know, if not, then you need to implement that voice of the customer program, right? So how do you you know, gather the voice of the customer? How do you gather information from them? How do you maintain it, support it? How do you manage your customers? That's really what we want to dive into here in implementing, you know, that particular voice of the customer there. All right. So 1.3 manage customer integration points, right? This is if you've already implemented a program, or if not and you did, we move on to 1.3, customer integration points, right? And let's look at the note that's on here. A customer integration point is any point in which your organization interfaces with the customer, right? So you need to think of your organization holistically, even if it's just you. Even if it's just you as an entrepreneur, right? You need to think of all the different points that you contact somebody. So let's look at the product life cycle. Let's look at the product life cycle of a product, and let's stick with the ebook for now, right? So maybe you're touching the customers at the beginning, trying to figure out what they want. You're doing competitive research. Maybe you're writing the ebook. You maybe pop it out there to some folks to get a little market study, which we're going to talk about later, and get some feedback. So you touch the customer there. Then you're touching the customer with maybe a free giveaway. You touch them through email and other marketing campaigns. If somebody buys, you're touching them, through the sales process. They get into your sales funnel. You're touching them with the delivery of the product. Maybe they have an issue or question and they come through your support. So now they're going through your support system. You touch them from a support standpoint. I mean, all those different areas. And again, it might just be you as an entrepreneur, right? Maybe you're a solopreneur, but there's multiple integration points there. And if it's not just you and you have, say, somebody handling support and somebody handling sales and somebody handling, whatever it may be, then, those folks in your team they're being touched, right? You're touching customers in many different ways. And every time that you touch a customer, right, it's not only important to uphold whatever your values are and portray your company's mission, but it's also an important opportunity to leverage that touch and try to glean out, pull out information about the voice of the customer. So one of the things that we want to do is understand what those integration points are, in your particular business. And every business is a little different, depending on what you do. If you're in a consulting business, the way the times and the points in your sales process and follow-up that you touch people is a lot different than others. 1.4, moving on, centralized customer support operations, right? This is one of these things where, even as a solopreneur, highly recommend that you get your support operations centralized. Something like Zendesk, Kayako, there's some free ones out there. I think, PHP Help Desk. I know if somebody else can think of some. There's a lot of free ones out there, but I've used Kayako in the past with a lot of success. Now we use Zendesk, for very low fees. But you definitely want to centralize those customer support operations. Why? Because it allows you to, again, obtain feedback from folks and to interact with folks and make sure you're not dropping the ball and relying on email. As folks are coming in, you can do a lot of cool stuff of gathering information, asking questions, building knowledge bases, that sort of thing, engaging people to, again, kind of, pull out more information of what they like, what they don't like, what they're looking for, stuff like that. 1.5, execute reputation monitoring. Now, this is interesting, right? With today's day and age of social media, and all the touches that you're touching somebody both on and offline, it's absolutely important that you're monitoring the reputation of your personal reputation and that of your brand, your company's brand, if you have one. There's actually software out there, and I'm not going to recommend any because I personally don't use any paid software for this. But if you go into Google and type, reputation monitoring, social media reputation monitoring, that sort of thing, you will absolutely find, things and be able to track what people are saying. There's another one I just trialed the other day called Viral Heat. I'll type that in down here. Viral Heat is one that very similar to Google Alerts, right? And I actually have done away with Viral Heat for now because I can do exactly what I need to for free at Google Alerts. If you haven't used Google Alerts, absolutely do this. It's free, on your Gmail account. Go set that up and type in, set up an alert campaign for your name, your personal name. Set it up for your business name. Any other maybe key things, key areas. For instance, with my platform, Busyness, right? So I watch and monitor everything that's going on with the keyword busyness. But you want to go in and definitely monitor that reputation. And Google Alerts will pull anytime there's a mention online. They'll pull that information. You can have it texted to you, emailed to you. You can have it emailed, live right away, or at the end of the day, or I think even a week digest. But so that's that's the reputation monitoring piece here. Very, very important, because if anybody says anything, like let's say somebody says something about Brad Semp or Dr. Brad Semp, I'm going to know, boom, and I can get in there. It might be positive, it might be negative, it might be feedback about a program or product of mine, it may be feedback just about myself. All voice of the customer type information, that we can pull back, right? So absolutely, good stuff there. Now let's go on to conduct competitive benchmarking. Now we hit on this, right? We hit on this back when we were talking about the small business startup package, to conduct competitive benchmarking, right? So understanding what your competition is doing here. Lots of cool things you can do here. Again, with a lot of free tools in Google, looking up other websites, using keyword tools, looking up what's going on with other keywords. Again, using alerts, right? So you can definitely monitor. I monitor some of my closest competitors using Google Alerts as well, so I can see exactly what's going on. There may be opportunities here for you to actually go in and buy products and stuff from them. Which I do often, right? I'll buy a particular product, download it with really no other purpose than to see what a competitor is doing, what type of information they're putting out there, the quality of it, and also to benchmark the sales processes. So when I'm going through and buying something there, I'll take notes, I'll take screen dumps of every step of the sales process and file that away into a competitive benchmarking folder, on my computer. So awesome stuff there. All right, Simon, what do you just set up an alert for? Oh, cool. Awesome. So you just took action. Beautiful. I love that. I love that. Love that. Taking action. So that's great. All right, so let's move on to 1.7, conduct customer surveys. And let me just stop for a minute. Remember here, right? What we're talking about is the VOC management tactics, right? So different ways to manage your integration points. Pull information in, all this information that kind of makes up the voice of the customer stuff. And Becky, I saw your question there, right? Without giving too much away, can you go into the steps? I'm actually doing a little bit better than the steps. I'm giving you real practical, hey, this is how you can go implement it right away. So, there's always a delicate balance there. But at the end of the day, what we're after here is helping each one of you move your business ahead. So, I'm not too worried about that. If you trust me, as we develop a relationship, all of us together, or you folks with me, you'll bring, you'll trust me in what I say. There'll be some of these where you'll want that more, the detail in the action cache maps. Other times you won't. I might be able to give you enough information here that, hey, you don't even need to go buy the action cache maps. If you look back on each one of these, I've given you a whole bunch of resources and stuff that you could go out tonight and set up, for each one of these steps. Conducting customer surveys. This is an awesome one here, folks. Absolutely awesome from a standpoint of gathering information from your customer base. If you have a list, right? If you have a list, one of the best ways to figure out what they'd like or what they want is to just survey them. Ask them, right? This is an awesome way to steer you into the right direction for your next product or service that you're going to offer. What is it where is it that they're feeling pain? What are those points? There's a lot of free things here. I'll give you two tools here, right? One is Survey Gizmo. Actually, Survey Monkey is one that you can do some level of surveys for free. A lot of people use this one. It's pretty darn good. I like the paid version of Survey Gizmo, but there's also inside of Google Docs. I think underneath spreadsheets, Dave, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but underneath Google Docs spreadsheets, you can actually you can set up a poll or a survey as well, and then just email that link out. So, and that's an absolutely free tool there. It's very, very powerful. So something to do there. So if you have a list, even if you don't have a list, right, you can use your Facebook and Twitter accounts and that sort of thing. Set up that poll and pump stuff out there, and it does. It absolutely, as Dave said, it pulls that information, puts it right in to the spreadsheet. Right into the spreadsheet inside of Google Docs. So you'll see all of your responses that came back. So that's awesome. Now, moving on, collecting and leveraging testimonials. This is absolutely awesome. This is a super important voice of the customer technique. One person that does this better than anybody I know is a guy by the name of Glenn Dietzel. I'm not sure if you know Glenn. He focuses in the area of high dollar back-end products and services, as well as wrote a book called Awaken the Author Within. So he focuses on book writing as well, but then has evolved into being one of the best experts out there for building high-priced back-end products and services. And he literally has hundreds and hundreds of video testimonials, hundreds of them. And why? Because he asked for them, and he bakes this into his process so that anytime he's at an event, he's asking for testimonials. Anytime that he is interacting with a customer who bought one of his products or services, he's asking for testimonials. There's opportunities here to ask for testimonials on the service and the support side of it, right? And just remind me here, right? I'm actually going to give everyone an opportunity tonight to earn something for free on this particular note right here, all right? So just stay tuned for that. In less than 15 minutes, I'm going to tell you exactly how to get $154 value for free tonight. $154, that's 2 cash mat packages. So just stay tuned for that. But absolutely gathering these testimonials. Now, written testimonials are great. Video testimonials are better, right? Because if you get video testimonials, that's, why is it great to have this video on? Because I can look at you, you can look at me, you get to know me, right? I don't really get to know you as much because I can't see you. And that's really the point. Video testimonials are great. And that you can also leverage those video testimonials because you can have them transcribed, extract the audio out if you want an audio testimonial, and you can transcribe them to have the written testimonial. So absolutely, you want to do that, and you'll glean more information out of folks too, from a voice of the customer standpoint. Now, set up product focus groups. This is something that's done in the automotive industry. Many companies do this very, very effectively. There's actually third-party services, marketing companies and stuff that's all they do. They set up scientific-based, focus groups to come in and sit on a seat. I'll give you an example. A real close couple friend of ours. They have 4 children back in Michigan, and Karen's her name. So Karen, and I think it was either 2 or 3 of their children. They got hooked up with a large tier 1 automotive supplier, and they would call them in simply to do these focus groups. So for instance, they bring them in on a new seat, and the kids, they want a different demographics of folks and the percentile of class. So maybe they want a 5% weight class, a 95th percentile weight class. They come in, they sit on seats, and they just have to rock their butt or move over, stand up, sit back down, whatever it is. And I mean, they were getting paid decent coin. I don't remember exactly what it was. I think it was like a few $100 for like an hour or 2 hours of work. I mean, so this is real stuff here. From an entrepreneurial standpoint, you can do this pretty easily. Go out to your list, right? I mean, you have a product or service that's coming out, go out to your list and give them that product or service for free, or go to the Warrior Forum, create a special offer, Warrior special offer for $20 and say, hey, I'm looking for 20 people to review my product or service in exchange for feedback, right? Again, gathering that voice of the customer. What are they telling you? And you need to be able to listen to it. So all those things together are kind of VOC management tactics. Now, what do you do here? What do you do here when to document and manage that voice of the customer? That's Dave, great. That's an awesome, Fiverr. If anybody hasn't seen Fiverr, awesome stuff, guys. I mean, Fiverr is a site I've probably kicked off 10 things there over the past couple months. $5. People will do insane amount of work for $5. Go to that. So, Fiverr, that's worth your time tonight right there. That little tip if you haven't, or that site if you haven't seen it yet. So, but just a heads up, some services are really, really good. Pay attention to the positive and negative reviews. Some of them suck. So, but they'll autocorrect with the voice of the customer, with people coming back saying, hey, for $5 you said you're going to distribute my website to 1,000 directories, and you did it. I see them out here. Great. Awesome feedback. Look for those, right? Again, it all boils down to voice of the customer. So let's look at now kind of the last 3 steps here. 110, document and manage the voice of the customer. 111, measure and track customer satisfaction, right? And 1.2, implement voice of customer driven product development. So here's the deal. 110, document, manage the voice of the customer. As you're gathering information, right? This doesn't have to be anything elaborate. Open up Google. Go to Google Docs, or open up a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet. In the left-hand column, right? Put ID, or number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. In the second column over, put a topic. Maybe it's a financial voice of the customer. It's a price point, something about price point. Maybe it's a functionality. That they want. And you can make these up. Just categorize the stuff. Kind of group related things. And as people are feeding stuff back to you, just enter it in there. Number 1, financial. They want the price point to be $47 or less. Number 2, product topic. They want to know about how to create a seat that vibrates and automatically ejects people out of your car. Whatever it may be, right? So go ahead and document those on that spreadsheet. That's really as simple as it gets. And if you categorize them, then you can do some more cool things as you start to gather that voice of the customer. You can always refer to it. You can sort it. You can do some very, very cool stuff. Lots more elaborate ways to do it, but that's simple. That's straightforward, and you'll get the bang for your buck for doing that, right? So that's 110. 111, measure and track customer satisfaction. Got to recommend a book. I'm looking to see if I have it here or behind me. I don't. The Ultimate Question. The Ultimate Question. I think it's Frank Reichheld, I think is his name, I want to say. But this is The Ultimate Question. This is basically one question that says, how likely are you to recommend company ABC's product or service to somebody else? One question. So many folks in the entrepreneurial space, most people do not measure anything. You get in the corporate world, there's usually metrics and measurements and report outs and all this crap, right? You want to be right there. You want to have one key metric. That's what I want to get you to, one key metric for your business to measure what's going on. And check out that book, The Ultimate Question. Absolutely, yeah, it's called Net Promoter, the Net Promoter Score, NPS. Absolutely cool. Thanks, Becky. And read that book. Get that book, right? Get it on your iPad. Get it on your Nook. Get it on your Kindle. Whatever you use, whatever reader you're using. But that's really all I want to jump into on that one, especially with the interest of time here. And then implement a VOC-driven product development, right? So you went out there and you're collecting all this voice of the customer data over time. You're documenting it, right? You're putting it in that Google spreadsheet. And then you're keeping it updated. As new stuff comes in, you're sorting it, you're looking at it, you're reviewing it, right? What the heck do you do with it, right? Well, the deal is this. The deal is that when you're developing products or services, what you want to do is make sure that that is one of the most important and front-end inputs to your product development cycle, to your product development process. The first thing that you should be doing is reviewing that list, looking at that, understanding what your customers are asking for, right? So that at the end of the day, you don't produce a product, you don't produce an ebook, you don't produce something that they're looking for this, and you end up way over here, right? They want this, and you end up over here. Total misalignment. What you want is they want this, you give them that. Boom. That thirsty crowd is right there for you to sell to, right? So, all right. Here's the deal. This package, right? And you know that this is when the offer thing comes. I do this every time, right? These packages are retail for $197. You can find this package on cashmap.com in your dashboard area to unlock all of the action cash maps. And again, how many action cash maps are there? There is, let's do this again. There are Can somebody beat me to it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right? So there's 11 action cash maps that go with this. Becky, good try. Awesome. You were talking about the strategy cash maps. How many strategy cash maps are there? Yeah, there's 59. I think there's 59 strategy cash map. But there's 11 action cash maps that go along with this package, right? You can buy this on the site right now for $77. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to offer to you the opportunity to, it's 2 for 1 tonight. 2 for 1, 2 for 1, 2 for 1. So you buy this package, you go ahead and email us at sales@cashmap.com, and just let us know what other package that you'd like to have unlocked, and we'll unlock it for you. So 2 for 1. Now, here's the free offer. The free offer is, and this is my little, bait to you. I'm going to do the ask, right? Collect and leverage testimonials. I would absolutely love, okay, a video testimonial for you on one of two things. On either what Busyness Live has done for you, right? And what you've learned and the importance of it, how you've been able to implement stuff to learn. If you give me a testimonial, within reason, right? A minute, 2 minutes or longer, whatever, 1 to 2 minutes or longer. What I'll do is I'm going to give you any 2 packages of our cash map package, the full thing, not just strategy. The strategy plus the action cash map is for free. Now, you can get up to 4 packages, because what's going to happen is if you do one video, one for Busyness Live and the other one for my TV show, right? What the Busyness TV show, I'll give you another 2 packages. So I know it's a little bit of the push, right? A little bit of the hook here, but listen, that's how important video testimonials are. And most of you folks that have been here have come back for multiple times. We're starting to develop a relationship here. I value your opinion. Other people will value your opinion as well. And you doing this will be a great service to not only myself, but to the rest of this world, because I'm on a huge mission right now, folks, to change this world for the better, to help individuals, entrepreneurs, to help corporations, to help stay-at-home moms and dads, to help families, marriages, right? Where busyness is just getting in the way of all the causing crap in the society. I'm on a mission to change that, right? Through my business platform, and I would love you to help me with that. So let me recap. You don't want to do any video testimonials? You can buy this package. I'll give you a second one for free, 2 for 1. You want to earn 2 packages? Any 2 packages, right? Doesn't have to be this one. Any 2. Do a video testimonial, 1 to 2 minutes or longer, on what Busyness Live, how it's impacted you and helped you. If you want another 2 packages, a video testimonial on the Busyness TV show and how that has impacted you and benefited you. So there, you can get 4 packages for free for that, right? So that's it. That's the pitch. I know we're just about out of time here, but I want to jump off of this, and I definitely want to make sure I open it up for Q&A and some of that sort of thing. All right, so let me hop back to, if you have questions, right? You have questions. I want to go ahead and do one more poll here, and then we're going to open up for a few questions. So let me pull this up. You know what? I'm going to leave this up so you can take a peek at that for right now. Let me pull up my poll pods here, and I want to talk about a busy boss. All right, so I'm going to open this up. For those of you, little fun here real quickly. For those of you that work, right? For those of you that work for somebody, or have in the past, that boss, right? What should you do? What do you think you should do when your boss is too busy to meet with you or review your work? So let's say you've got questions, you're doing work, you've got questions, you finish something, you're just looking for that feedback, and then your boss is like, no, I don't have time to meet with you, right? It happens. It happens. I know this personally. I've done this personally to my team members. What do you think you should do? Send an email to your boss, leave your boss a voicemail, set a handwritten note on her or his chair, come back again later, say screw it, and let her find you, right? I guess it depends on, your stature within the company here, right? But, all right, come on. We've got more folks here. Try back every. Good one there, Simon. Hey, so while you're doing that, let me give a little plug here. Um, you guys can see somebody here that is Small Island Productions here. His name is Simon, and just wanted to give you a little plug here. Simon, go ahead and type your website in there, buddy. Simon is the producer, right? He's editing and producing all of the Busyness TV show. Absolutely cannot do what I do without him. So if you need video work, whether it's production of an individual video or something more. This guy is amazing. He does work. He's done work for Universal Studios. The guy's unbelievable. He's right here in Central Florida. I actually found him before I even moved down to Florida, and now we work very closely together. Check him out. Check him out. Absolutely. So there you go, smallislandproductions.com. So there, half the pages are missing, but just look them up. All right. So Simon, thanks for all that you do for making the Busyness TV show such a success and a reality. All right, so let me share these with you now. Here's the results. So 50% say try back another time. A third of the folks are saying, or actually 17% of the folks are saying send the boss an email, set a handwritten note on his or her chair, or say screw it and let her find you. You know what? For me, I've done all of those. I literally have done all of those with somebody who I work for. I've sent an email before. I've voicemailed. I've written handwritten notes. I've just said, all right, I'll be back, and came back multiple times, say screw it. And I don't know, it depends on the situation, which one's better. Totally depends on the entire situation, but just want to have a little fun there and see what people thought. So, all right, so that's that. Now, let's go ahead and open up the Q&A here. Let's go ahead. I'm going to open up the Q&A, and if anybody wants to talk, right, you want to hop on the microphone or hop on video, absolutely can do it, right? Absolutely can do it. So let's just see here. If you have questions, if you don't have questions, that's absolutely fine too. But what I want to do is give you a chance to check this out. So if there's any questions, how do you do VOC for multiple types of customers? Okay, great. So Becky, one business or multiple businesses, or one business with different target customer groups? One business with different persona. Okay, so one business with multiple avatars. That's great. All right, so what you do with that is you're going to gather the voice of the customer. You can actually gather it in the same document. Okay, and remember what I talked about with the categorization, right? And where I started today, right? Really, every business has multiple customers, because remember, you have customers that you have end user customers. You have customers that are maybe manufacturing your product, distributing your product, selling your product, on and on and on. And so all you do is, you have another column in there where that you actually put in there who that particular customer is. So that's the way that I do. I gather it all in one area, because then you can do some sorting things. If your end user and maybe your fulfillment center, they each have different requirements that are in the same categories. You can say, oh, you can sort by category, but then see that, oh, well, that one's actually for the end user, and this one's actually for the the fulfillment center or whatever. So just add one more column in there, and you actually should have that anyways. No matter what. So sorry, I'm clicking. You might hear some clicking. I'm going through, and I actually had some questions left over in here from last week, but I'm deleting them out of here. So all right, so you work with technical decision makers and business decision makers. Absolutely critical that you understand the difference in that sales process. Very, very keen, very, very good that you point that out. On database projects, right? Is there a hierarchy? Well, it depends. What happens is this. What happens is, you've got the numbering of your voice of the customer, you've got the category, you've got, go ahead and put the customer in there, you got the actual voice of the customer. The other thing you can do in those cases, you can prioritize those, right? You can absolutely prioritize those, because in some customers, your business decision makers are the ones that make the decision at the end of the day. In other cases, and I can look at the automotive industry as a perfect example of that, in many cases, purchasing, or the business buyers, right, they were going along and just looking at the technical engineers to say, hey, who do you want? What do you want? What product do you want? So it definitely depends, and you definitely need to take into consideration that hierarchy, and therefore you just put more weight on those particular voice of the customer pieces than the others, based on the customer that's going on, or whatever customer you're working with. But again, you can either just do that ad hoc, or you can prioritize. You can put a priority on, you can add another column to your matrix and add a priority, a 1 to 5, 1 to 10 scale, even 1 to 100 scale, stuff like that. So absolutely understanding who's going to authorize the PO and who's going to make the decision. Very, very important, part of like the customer relationship development and the selling process, the consultative selling type stuff. So, all right, so here's an interesting question. So the question is this: how do you present info to those who are numbers data oriented versus emotional deciders? Yeah, that's great. Well, so here's the deal, right? In a presentation, and I'm assuming here that this is a presentation for like a sales type thing. I'll also cover even the presentation thing. Let's talk just from a general presentation perspective. I think that'll be easier, right? So when I speak to audiences, right, whether it's an audience of 2 or an audience of 100 or 400 or 1,000, my particular presentation style has a mixture of elements to make sure that it's touching all the above, right? So I'll have facts in there that really speak to the folks that are numbers guys and gals. They want facts. They want numbers, right? Then there's also the story-based side of things that appeals to the right brain, the emotional folks. So again, we're talking that the Zoom thinking, that left brain, right brain type thing. So there's a couple different ways to go, but the best way that I found really is just to make sure that whatever you're presenting, whatever presentation material you're using, has elements for both, right? So it has the numbers and the data in there, but in other areas it has room for you to tell a story with just a bullet point that jogs your mind, and okay, now you go into a story. It has pretty pictures, right? So what you'll find in my presentations is very little text. I'll have a fact, that appeals to the numbers folks. The rest will be a picture to elicit emotion, and then a story that drives home the point of that fact with those, with those pictures. So that's how I do it, Gary. There may be better ways, other ways, but hopefully that gets you thinking a little bit and answers your question. All right, so we're a little bit over here. Just wanted to remind you again. You got 3 ways to get free cash maps. You can buy the Voice of Customer cash map, and we'll unlock any other cash map package for free. The offer there for doing a video testimonial regarding Busyness Live or Busyness, the Busyness TV show. And granted, hey, I will put your website, on that video, promote you on there. So as this platform continues to grow, you will get, I guarantee you'll get thousands of views in that video. So this isn't a one-way street, right? This is a 2-way street. You help me, I help you. And hopefully this information tonight's been helpful for you. Next week, I don't, let's take a look real quick at next week. I don't remember exactly what's on the docket for next week. Let me pull up the Entrepreneur Strategy Cash Map and look ahead to next week real quick. All right, so here we go. For next week, we're right here. This week, implement voice to customer strategy. Next week, we're going to be right here to find your business competition. And so we're going to be jumping in next week into conquering your competition and our Conquer Your Competition cash map package. That's what we're going to be. That's what we're going to be covering next week. And with that, hey, if you want to do a video testimonial and unlock cash map packages for free, just go ahead and do it. Send it over, or if you have questions, email us at sales@cashmap.com, or go and submit a support ticket. Either way, whatever you would like to do, and we will work together and make it mutually beneficial. So, all right, with that, folks, I am pulling back up the Business TV show here. Now, any last questions? Let's see if there's any last questions here. If not, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. And I'd like to thank, I know I went over time here a little bit. I apologize for that, but absolutely, always love you being here. Thank you for your participation. Thank you for your questions. Next Wednesday night, Busyness Live, again, 9:30 p.m., 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Absolutely, Simon, thanks for the reminder. Yep, Busyness TV. Episode number 7 comes out tomorrow. And I'll give you a little tease there. I'm going to share with you what my number one unbusy place is. And I'd like to hear from you. Watch that video. Give me a comment on there if you would. Give me some comments on those videos, some feedback, what you like, what you don't like, all that good stuff. And another great reminder there. We have solidified our Roger, dude. That is so true, man. That is so true. I never thought about that. Probably more so for guys, but yeah, the laboratory is a number one unbusy place. Interesting. But anyways, facebook.com/busyness TV. If you have not liked us there and come and participate with us over there, absolutely do that. I would love your like and participation there. The laboratory on your smartphone. Yeah, right. So in your meditation corner. All right, hey, do me a favor tomorrow, please. This show's episode 7. It's coming out tomorrow. Do me a favor, please. Watch that episode. We're dialing in at about 8 to 9 minutes now. So keeping these things short, functional, not trying to slam you with time. But when you watch that show, click on the link below it to submit a comment on busyness.com. I'd love to hear your input on some of these things. Yeah, they're here. Put them over there. Let's get some dialogue going on busyness.com. I'd love to hear the laboratory comments over there, the meditation corner. Let's provoke some other folks to join in the fun. So with that, folks, hey, thank you for your questions. Thank you again for your participation, and I'll be back next week, 9:30 p.m. Eastern, right here, Wednesday night, the 23rd of February, on Busyness Live. So thanks again, and have an absolutely awesome and wonderful night. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.